Hey guys, it's Mike the Wrestling God Smith, and you guys are watching All in Wrestling, the premier wrestling YouTube that focuses on NXT, SmackDown, Raw, 205 Live, Impact Wrestling, and many more. Okay, the purpose of my video is to do. I'm gonna talk about NXT. So the first thing I saw last week about NXT was the Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa thing, and And what I didn't like about that, because the whole thing, I guess Johnny was gonna make a promo, and then out of nowhere, Tommaso Ciampa came out and said, "Together we win," and I kind of believe that, but I really think this is a front for something, because I think he's only using Johnny to get back to to get him to have to keep the NXT title around his waist or get Johnny to the North American title because that's the only way that's gonna work. Or he's gonna go after the NXT tag titles and then go after the North American title because they will both win, which it would work on SmackDown because they could be tag champs and be single competitors. But I don't really know because I probably won't know until this week happening, and I kind of feel like like I said, I don't, I don't hate. Like I said, I don't hate the new heel DIY. But I just feel like it's something we're gonna. I like that they're kind of going back and forth a little bit, but they kind of leaves me like this NXT kind of left me with more questions than answers, because I kind of feel like what are they gonna do with Keith Lee to a point, and I kind of feel like okay, he there's a point. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work because I feel like Keith Lee has no. I kind of feel like Keith Lee has a place in NXT, but the dude's really not doing it. And Matt Riddle's gonna have. He's probably gonna go out. Like William Regal's probably gonna give him a title shot, and I think they're gonna give it to him right when we have take over New York, which I think is gonna be Brooklyn, like right after WrestleMania or right before WrestleMania. But the thing is, I don't know because, like I said, the one question that I'm probably thinking about the more you guys are thinking about is where do we go from here? Because I mean, I kind of feel like okay, the Maya Yim, I like the Maya Yim, the Maya Yim against Shayna Baszler match, but it was a non-title, and I liked it. But the realism is that I think, and this is just my words here, but I think that I kind of think that she's gonna I think she's gonna take the title off of Shay. I think she's gonna make Shayna drop it to her because Maya Yim's a different ball game, and I think because she's not MMA, but she's full wrestling, and I get it. And there's a lot of things they could have did, and I really think they could have did a lot more with it because I kind of think that there was really no sense in it at the time because like I mean. Maya Yim, I've heard about her. I've kind of did my research on her, like everybody else does, and I kind of feel like NXT is building everybody. Like they're building everyone. I'm liking how they're building them instead of like how Raw's only building one guy, or they're building up a couple of people. And I kind of feel like you know what, maybe the sense would be, and I don't hate the word. Like I said, I don't hate the idea. Maybe the sense would be to because I kind of feel like Keith Lee could go to the main roster, but just not right now because we don't know who he is. We don't know what he does. We don't know what he's about. And that's kind of the problem I'm kind of having because we don't know what he's about. That's the big problem we don't know. We don't know what he's about. We don't know who we like. We don't really know what he's about. We don't know who he's like really doing. And it's kind of like, Matt Riddle. We know who he's about. We know we've seen him around the world. Like we've seen him in ICW, seen him, and that's what I mean. And I'm gonna take a thing out of like a page out of Pulse's book. Like when the WWE, even with WWE and TNA, it's like they don't. It's like even if you wrestled at FCW and you did it and you did Ring of Honor, that really doesn't mean anything. Because I mean, they could have got Christopher Daniels too, and I feel like Christopher Daniels would have got hired by the WWE at some point, just like Kazarian did. Because Kazarian left the WWE and went to TNA, and I kind of figured that. But I kind of feel like it's the same thing with all elite wrestling, where everybody who's anybody's gonna be there, and I kind of don't. Like I said, I just feel like okay. Like I said, I really wish that there's a lot of things I'm thinking about. I really wish. Like I really wish. Like like I said, it leaves me with the same thing with Raw leaves me with more questions than answers. But NXT leaves me with more questions than answers because I really want to see what are they gonna do because I kind of feel like okay, here's my thing, right? We don't like I said we don't know what they can do because the joke is it's not a bad idea, but I just don't know. And I kind of feel like okay, I kind of feel like two things right now. Like I kind of feel like there's certain people in NXT that are gonna do well, that are gonna flourish. There's some people that are gonna go sour, that are gonna go stale, and I think Keith Lee's the guy. I think Keith Lee doesn't really make any sense to me. He doesn't because it's like there's no balance with him, and I kind of feel like with him being the way he like when he first debuted, and I still feel the same way I do feel about him. I like him a little bit, but he kind of feels like a Chris Jericho remake, like Virgin One. I kind of feel like everything like his whole the background, the Titantron feels like his entrance feels like it. I don't know. I kind of feel like with Matt Riddle, there's a little bit more to do with him. And I think Cassius Ono is actually going to leave and go somewhere else. He'll probably go back to somewhere, or he'll probably end up going to Impact, or somebody will take him because I can see how. Or he'll go to All Elite Wrestling and be Chris Hero again and mess with him, or go to Evil, which would be nice too. And I kind of see that happening, or go to Ring of Honor, but I don't really know if that's going to really go with him either because it's kind of really thought it's kind of a weird idea to let him go because the WWE pays him too much money. But I don't know. But the realism it bugs me a bit. It kind of bugs me a little bit because there's no thought of it because I really think that there's something there, but I don't know. I kind of feel like there should have been something at that point because there's something there, but like I said, I really think there's a lot of different ways to go with this. And here's the thing, like I kind of want a lot of things. The same thing with Aleister Black, where there's gonna be a lot of ideas with him, and I think him being on the main roster, and I really want to see him face AJ Styles more because AJ Styles can face anyone, and I feel like him going to Aleister Black would be a good idea, or at least Mustafa Ali, because there really is no thinking about it because I think, and here's my thing, right? NXT isn't a bad idea. They're not a bad idea. I just think that because of they have so many wrestlers now, and because their brand, because the women's division is good, the women's division is flourishing because of Shayna Baszler, and because of the fact that Maya Yim's gonna want to fight her. Because I think out of her, and besides Bianca Belair, it's a lot of people. Dina Perazzo could do better too, but I really think Dina Perazzo is not gonna have that point. And Dina Perazzo was kind of like in a realm of obscurity where to a point where she kind of makes sense in NXT, but she kind of doesn't. And I kind of want to see where that's going to take her a little bit. Undisputed Era, I think they're going to get the titles or they're going to reclaim them at some point, which I think maybe during the next TakeOver, the next pay-per-view, they'll reclaim them, or they'll probably do it next week. And I don't know. I feel like Velveteen Dream's ready to be in main roster, but I don't think he's ready there yet because he's only been there for about a year, I believe. About 2 years now. Yeah, I kind of feel like he's not there yet. Like he's got to have a little bit more, like more experience, like like kind of like seasoned veteran experience, like Ric Flair, Stone Cold Steve Austin, JBL, Farouk, or Ron Simmons actually, Ron Simmons, um, Vader, the Ultimate Warrior. I kind of feel like that's all I kind of feel like should have that experience. Like I really think because I like Jeff Jarrett being there and teaching the new generation. Because I kind of feel like Jeff Jarrett he has a lot of seasoned like veteran experience, and I kind of feel like okay, this is what I mean, and this is like I don't hate like all in all NXT last week was an A because I liked the matches. The matches were really good. The segments were good too, but like I said, that whole thing with Tommaso Ciampa being in the ring with them and doing that promo, I kind of feel like he's playing Johnny, but I feel like he's playing him in a certain way that he kind of wants to put him. And then the UK was good too. I think Tony Storm, Ripley are gonna have the most heated women's rivalry next to Bailey and Sasha and Charlotte, because I kind of feel like here's the thing I kind of feel like right that they can do a lot of things with them, and I kind of feel like with the UK women's title and the UK NXT NXT UK title is coming, and I mean that the WWE United Kingdom Championship is coming around, which I get to a point because there's a big thing about that. They don't really think about it. Yeah, they don't really think about it. Yeah, they don't really think about it because it's like okay, it's kind of like where do you go from here? Because it's like, do I really want to be like, and that's the question that I really want to pose to people is like, where do we go? Like, and that's how I want to quit everybody. Like, what do I think? I really think this year NXT should do a lot of things. I kind of think that there's gonna be more stories developed. Like I said, I think there's so many different ways they could do it, and I kind of feel in my own like even in my own mind that there's so many different routes they can go, and I kind of feel like putting all the effort into it. Because I mean, like this is what I mean, right? And I don't hate NXT. See that Velveteen Dream is like one of the top guys, just like Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Aleister Black, Ricochet, Adam Cole, Undisputed Era, like them. And I just feel like in this like day and age, that the top star is always gonna feel like he's gonna flourish, and that's the thing with the main. I'm glad they put him in the main roster, but the main roster doesn't make any sense either because it's like no matter where you go, it feels like you're not really doing anything anyway. Like I said, I kind of feel like this is what I mean because Velveteen Dream has a really he has the NXT universe, and I'm calling them then to the fans the NXT universe like as a whole, and I feel like the way his charisma is, the way he presents himself, it's kind of like borderline Shawn Michaels, borderline Ric Flair, borderline Paul Orndorff, Mr. Wonderful, like all these guys who came and went, all these eras that came and went. Velveteen Dream is like the new version of that era where he doesn't have to be a showboat, but he has amazingly like he's technically gifted, has really good charisma, can do used to working hard, used to doing this, and I kind of feel it's the same thing with like Chris Benoit before he passed away, before he went crazy. It's the same type of aggression, that same type of aggression. Like I kind of feel like okay, that same type of aggression. Same thing with Michael Hayes because Michael Hayes wasn't a bad guy either. He wasn't a bad guy. I think that him trying to be with the Hardy Boys, like him being the hard part of the Hardy Boys, right there, like around 90, with full like fully loaded 1999, 99, then leaving, then coming back and doing stuff, and then being a legend, it's fine. And then and here's the thing about like, and here's the thing about like even all these guys that came, like that came that went. Like I said, I kind of feel like I really wish there was a lot of ways to do it, because it's like okay, it's kind of I'm using a reference here. It's kind of like how Mr. Wonderful first debuted on Monday Night Nitro. I mean WCW, like Monday Night Nitro, and the thing was, it wasn't like he wasn't a bad guy, but it was not he was always one guy. Same thing with me and Gene. He was like the guy. He used the charisma, but he had his own style, and he went through throat cancer, and he went through a lot of stuff, and he was smoking, and I get that. But the idea of, Velveteen Dream being at some point, being the number, number one guy for the WWE would be fine. But that's what I'm saying. He could have. I don't know why he didn't go after the NXT championship at the time because, the thing is, I think he'll get. I think he'll end up getting both at some point, or Johnny will beat him for the North American. Tommaso will be like, listen, we're going to main roster, or be in main roster, or be in SmackDown because they can beat the Bar. They've proven that they could, and the Bar has fantastic teamwork. But in actuality, I kind of feel like okay, where we go, like where's the chase and how do I cut to it? And this is the point. This is the point where I feel that where they're gonna end up being. Like I said, there's a lot of things they could have did. There's a lot of things they are going to do in NXT now, and I kind of feel like same thing with Daniel Bryan. Like if he had, and I realized this, like if he had more time to develop, like I said, I think that if he had more time to develop, I think his character would have the guest, like him being the guest movement and him now being a heel, would have probably culminated, and he probably would have culminated or changed his gimmick at some point. But like I said, I kind of feel like if he would have stayed longer, if he would have did what the Miz said and actually took him like did what the Miz says and have charisma, he probably would have lasted long as a champion. As much he probably would have lasted long, but he probably would have fizzled out. Because the Miz doesn't like to really train anyone who isn't worth. The same thing with Alex Riley, like when he came back. Because Alex Riley, when he came back, it kind of felt weird because it was like, oh, I got fired in 2012. I'm back in 2015. Yeah, that kind of feels like that. But anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe on this video. Peace.